Hello Miss, good evening. Let me introduce myself. My name is Maria Mude. My name 332100093. My class 3366C07. So today I will make a video presentation of the US Applied Linguistic Project. So let's start. Problem 1. Mr. Thompson is a language studier. Use of language in new reporting. He is particularly interested in how language can convey bias, shape public opinion, and influence the perception of news events. Mr. Thompson analyzed articles from various news outlets covering the same event to identify linguistic patterns that may indicate bias. He also considered the impact of these linguistic choices on the audience's understanding and interpretation of the news. Question: what linguistic feature showed Mr. Thompson focus on the identify bias in news reporting? Discuss and enlarge the feature and explain how they can contribute to bias reporting. Mr. Thompson should focus on the following three linguistic features to identify bias in new reporting. 1. Word choice and connotation. This specific word and phrase used in reporting can significantly impact how information is perceived by the audience. Words have connotation that can be positive, negative, or neutral, and this connotation can be subtly influence reader attitudes toward the subject being reported. Example: compare the use of terrorist versus freedom fighter, protest versus riot, or government regulation versus government interference. The choice between these terms can shape the reader's perception of this event or individual involved. Impact on bias. Bias reporting may use light language to sway the reader's opinion, for instance, describing or protest as a riot can create the negative image, while calling it a demonstration might suggest or a more peaceful and legitimate from the expression. Such word choice can frame the narrative in a way that aligns with the outline's ideological stance. 2. Framing and context. Framing involves presenting information in a particular way that influence the interpretation of the news. This includes what information is included or omitted, how events are scheduled, and the overall context provided. Example: when reporting on a political scandal, one news outlet might focus on the legal implication, then and the potential harm to the public, while another might emphasizes the individual right to privacy or suggests the accusations are politically motivated. Impact on bias. The framing of a story can lead readers to different conclusions about the same event by emphasizing certain aspects and downplaying others. News outlets can guide the audience interpretation and create biased perspective. This selective proposition can either heighten and prescribe significance of certain detail or diminish their importance. 3. Attribute of responsibility. This involves how news articles attribute responsibility for event or action. This can include the use of active versus passive choice and the identification of specific agent responsible for action. Example, consider the difference between police officer shot the protester. Active voice, direct attribution versus protesters were shot during the demonstration. Passive voice, indirect attribution. Impact on bias. The attribution of responsibility can influence how blame or credit is assigned. Active voice clearly identifies the subject responsible for the action, which can lead to a more direct assessment of blame. Passive voice, on the other hand, can obscure who is responsible, making the event seems more like an unfortunate occurrence without clear accountability. This can reflect and reinforce the news outlet's perspective on who is to blame or who deserves sympathy. The article from work. Agenda, agenda setting theory. Agenda setting theory posits the media can shape what topics are considered important by the public through the frequency and prominence on their coverage. By focusing on particular issues, the media influence the public perception of what matters. Media bias is a powerful and often controversial phenomenon that has a significant impact on society, particularly in terms of shaping public opinion and influencing political discourse. In the age of information, where the 24/7 news cycle bombards use with stories and opinions, the concept of media bias has taken center stage. To begin, to begin with, media bias refer to the intentional or unintentional distortion of news or information by media outlets, often in favor of certain interests or viewpoints. This can take many forms, including selective reporting, editorial bias, framing, and the use of loaded language, among others. The media landscape is vast and diverse. There are conservative, liberal, and centrist outlets, each with their unique take on stories. 2. Application to bias. If a news outlet frequently reports on the negative aspect of the political figure while neglecting their achievement, it sets agenda that may lead the audience to form a negative opinion about the figure. 3. Framing theory. Framing theory suggests that how information is presented, the frame affect audience interpretation. Frames can highlight certain aspects of reality while ignoring others, shaping the audience's perception and understanding. 4. Application to bias. By framing a story in a way that emphasizes conflict and drama over fake and analysis, a news outlet can create a biased narrative that influences public perception. Problem 2. Imagine you are the language planner working to afford the development of a country with a diverse linguistic landscape. The country has several indigenous languages spoken by different ethnic groups, as well as a dominant national language used for official purposes. Your track, your task is to develop a language policy that promotes linguistic diversity while ensuring effective communication, and national unity. Question: how can the government audit the use the preservation of indigenous language through education? Promoting, promoting the use and preservation of the indigenous language through education requires a comprehensive and inclusive approach. Here are several strategies the government can implement. Bilingual and multilingual education program. Develop and implement bilingual or multilingual education program in school where indigenous languages are taught alongside the national language. This can help students become proficient in both the indigenous language and the national language, fostering pride in their heritage while ensuring they can participate in broader national and global context. 2. Incorporate indigenous language in curriculum. Integrate indigenous language into the natural curriculum at all levels of education. This includes developing textbooks and teaching material in indigenous language, as well as incorporating indigenous knowledge and cultural practice into the curriculum. 3. Teacher training and recruitment. Invest, invest in training and recruiting teacher who are fluent in the indigenous language. This includes offering scholarship and incentives for individuals from indigenous communities to become education and providing ongoing professional development for teachers in bilingual and multilingual education methodology. 4. Community involvement and partnership. Agents with indigenous communities to develop language programs that reflect their needs and preferences. Establish partnership with community organizations, elder and language experts to create culturally relevant and effective education resources and programs. 5. Language immersion program. Create language immersion program where students are taught in the indigenous language for a significant portion of the school day. This program can be especially effective in early childhood education, helping young children develop strong language skills in their indigenous language. After school and extracurricular activities. 6. After school and extracurricular activities. After school, over after school program, clubs and extracurricular activities that promote the use of indigenous language. This can include cultural events, language clubs, storytelling sessions, and traditional arts and crafts. 7. Media and technology integration. Utilize media and technology to support language learning and preservation. Develop education aids, online resources, and multimedia content in indigenous language. Promote indigenous language programming on television, radio, and social media platforms. 8. Language Revitalization Program. Support and fed language revitalization initiatives such as Language Night, where young children are immersed in indigenous language spoken by elders. Provide grants and resources for community-led language documentation and revitalization projects. 9. Policy and legal support. Enact and enforce policies that recognize and protect the rights of indigenous communities to use and promote their language. This includes recognizing indigenous language as official language in their respective region and providing legal framework that support language preservation effort. Pre- Preservation effort. Finally, monitoring and evaluation. Establish mechanism to monitor and evaluate the effectiveness of language education policies and programs. Use feedback from communities, educators, and students to make continuous improvement and assure the suitability of language preservation. And thank you very much for watching my project was. Bye bye, Miss.